Hello, welcome Formula One fans to Interlagos for the second round of the 1998 Formula One World Championship. Massive shockwaves as Michael Schumacher has announced that he will be moving to McLaren for next season. So, well, there's a lot of sub-stories there at play. Michael's on pole alongside Irvine, so Ferrari finally seem to be coming good and have a great chance to win the World Championship, but Michael potentially has just done a massive vote of no confidence in them. Also, there's going to be tension at McLaren now because who out of Häkkinen and Coulthard is going to be retained? Because if Häkkinen's close enough to Schumacher, it might actually be counterproductive to retain him, but if they had Michael and Mika, they would surely have one of the best driver lineups in Formula One. That's not to say that David Coulthard is any slouch at all, but here we go. The grid itself, let's have a look at that for a minute. So the two Ferraris in the front row, then the two McLarens, then the two Williams, then the two Jordans. So it only gets out of Noah's Ark when we get down to Jean-Alesi Sauber in ninth. Now, Sauber had an extremely poor weekend in Melbourne, so they will be absolutely delighted with how they've done here. Ninth on the grid, much more what they would have been hoping to achieve this season. Fisichella 10th in the Benetton, Wirtz 11th. So Benetton have definitely gone backwards. They've not got the performance compared to last season. They're still in the top half of the grid, but only just. Arrow's fallen off a bit from their Melbourne performance, but still respectable for a team that, you know, last year had a couple of really big peaks with Damonhill, but otherwise not really anything to show. And massive for Arrows to still be up there and holding ahead of the teams you would expect them to be competing with, the likes of Tyrrell and Stewart. Tyrrell 17th and 18th for Takagi and Rossett. Barrichello 19th and Stewart. Truly got a bit more out of the Prost this weekend, but Panis struggled too, so he's still down in 20th. And Tuero, who did a great performance in Melbourne last time out, not so good this weekend. And Minardi's where one would expect him to be, monopolising the back row. So here we go then, Interlagos. What can we expect? We're about to find out. Michael Schumacher then starting on pole. He's got his teammate Eddie Irvine alongside. Is it going to be a subordinate number 2 case, or is Irvine going to challenge Michael for the victory if he can? Well, here we go, away they go, and the Ferraris, McLarens, Williams, all right, that's an incident. I think that's a Sauber is out of the race already, and I'm not sure who it is, we'll find out in a bit. Irvine up the inside of Schumacher, giving him a fight. Michael holds on at the moment, and that's the McLaren going. Which way is that, Häkkinen? No, it's Coulthard. So Coulthard did all that work to get ahead of Häkkinen at the start, and then had a blow up and is instantly out of the Grand Prix. Well, that's a relief to the likes of Jordan, Bennett and Sauber, because they now have a chance to get in at least a point today. And well, that's John was the Sauber who went out at the start, because we can see Herbert is in the race and doing quite well. He's up in the top 10 now, but Schumacher continues to lead, and then Irvine and then Häkkinen, and already a gap is developing back to the Williams. Williams were able to hide a little bit in Melbourne behind the weather, behind the different strategies, but here they are quite clearly lacking. I did say in Melbourne they'd lost their customer Renault engines. Of course I meant their works Renault engines, so I will always mock my mistakes if I can, and I think of it even if it's not in the same race, as we can clearly see here. So here comes Schumacher going for a defence, because Irvine is having a very energetic look up the inside, and Eddie Irvine is through into the lead. Well, where does this leave Ferrari? They may be less likely to support Schumacher now. They know he is going to McLaren, who are back to strength and building up to be a great rival. If McLaren can't win the championship this year, they might well aim to next year with Michael Schumacher. Lacey's car is stranded in the middle of the track. Nobody has cleared it up. Well, that's going to be a great pain in the backside for everybody. And they're having to go wide, but someone's surely going to hit that at some point. Why have they not cleaned that up? Absolutely dreadful. And Häkkinen's made a mistake somewhere. A drop back, because he is now in the clutches of the two Williams drivers. Ralf Schumacher at the moment running 6th, just ahead of, well, quite a way ahead of his teammate Damonhill, who was under pressure from Johnnyherbert. Frentzen having a little bit of a peek at Häkkinen's McLaren. Not able to make much happen yet. We will see the two Ferraris still battling. Irvine still ahead of Schumacher. They will be hoping to not have any incidents. Ferrari can't afford incidents. They're finally showing the pace. But we don't know where it'll be when we go to Argentina. Will it switch around again? Ferrari have got to maximise this opportunity for 1-2. It's dry, so no chance of any dodgy strategies like Irvine's in Melbourne ruining the potential best result for them as a team. But This is where Irvine got a run at Schumacher before. Now, is Schumacher going to get around back? I think he's too far back, but he gets such a lot of grip and the slipstream. And Schumacher is having a look. Is he going to make his way through? No, I think Irvine has managed to hold him off there, and he holds the position. So there we go. And so the two Ferraris stood up there. They've got to be careful. This battling might allow Häkkinen to close back in, although he's not really showing much at the moment, but he is now. He's started to get a bit better traction, Mika Häkkinen, and he is pulling back away from that Williams. And once again, they have to go either side of a Lacey Sauber. That's still not been cleared up. That is purely dangerous. And Michael Schumacher having a look, but we've cut away. There's Frentzen, there's Häkkinen, Frentzen again. But there is the two Ferraris side by side, and Schumacher storms back into the lead. So, great move, but will he be vulnerable into the final corner? Because that's where a lot of the overtaking has been done, and competition has been done between them. And Irvine certainly doesn't look like he's going to back off and give Michael Schumacher that opportunity to get far, far away from him. Villeneuve now is under a bit of pressure from Ralf Schumacher, and Damonhill's there as well. You can see the two Benettons in 9th and 10th. They've not really shown much in this race, unfortunately, pretty much stayed where they started. That Michael Schumacher continues to lead. We are around the final lap now, I believe, and Ferrari, they really are hoping for this one too, but Eddie Irvine will be hoping to try to take the first victory of his career. He's got a really good chance here. Just got to try to get alongside his teammate whilst he's able to compete with him, because I don't think that will be the case in every race this season. So whilst he is able to compete with Schumacher, Irvine's got to try. Can Schumacher hold off? Irvine is closer than Schumacher was last time, and he's going to have a look up the inside. Eddie Irvine, this is maybe the last chance for him to try to take the victory, but I think Schumacher has been able to hold Eddie Irvine off, and Michael Schumacher not falling for the same trick he fell for in the opening lap of the race. Michael Schumacher surely going to hold on. Häkkinen closing in a bit now, but it's going to be a Ferrari 1-2 in Interlagos, and it's going to be Michael Schumacher to lead it home. Fantastic for Ferrari. Mika Häkkinen in third, getting the best result he realistically could today, because those Ferraris reigned supreme. So there we go. Michael Schumacher, the race winner. Eddie Irvine finishing in second. Ferrari 1-2. Mika Häkkinen third for McLaren. Heinzharaldfrentzen fourth in the Williams. Jacques Villeneuve fifth in the Williams. So the world champion beaten by his teammate, but at least he's off the mark. And Ralf Schumacher got stuck in gear, I believe, in the final lap. So he dropped sadly from 6th down to 9th. So his teammate Damon Hill was the beneficiary of that to score points for the second race in a row. Didn't look to have the same pace trouble in the front runners that he did in Melbourne, but a decent job from Damon nonetheless. 6th is a decent result, and I'm sure that himself and Jordan will be happy enough with that. Johnny Herbert finished a long way off Damon in the end, so I'm guessing that Ralph, when he had the issue, let Damon through and then held the rest up, which guaranteed a point for his team. So great team play from Ralf Schumacher there. Johnny Herbert in 7th. Much better weekend for Sauber, even though Alesi was out right at the start. Herbert gave a very good account of them and their car and beat both the Benettons. So, yeah, there we go. We'd better have a look at the Drivers' Championship then. So Michael Schumacher leads it. He's on 16 points. Mika Häkkinen second on 14. Heinzharaldfrentzen on 7. Eddie Irvine on 6. Damon Hill on 4. Pedro Diniz still in the top 6 of the Drivers' Championship on 2 points. Jacques Villeneuve also on 2. And Giancarlo Fisichella on 1. So I think there's only 8 drivers who have scored points in the 2 races so far. So good consistency from Häkkinen, Schumacher, Frentzen and Hill. The Constructors' Championship, Ferrari on 22, McLaren on 14, Williams on 9, Jordan on 4, Arrows on 2 and Benetton on 1. Well, we can see that Michael Schumacher, he might be going to McLaren next season, but he knows there is a full season ahead with Ferrari, and he is determined to bring them their first world title in 19 years. We don't know what on earth Ferrari are going to do next year. That's a very interesting one. There's a lot of speculation going around, but, you know, what can they do? It's too early days. We don't know what's going to happen with the rest of the team. So, well, it was a great race, though, and we see Schumacher versus Häkkinen already getting away in the battle for the World Championship. And all I can say now is thank you very much for watching, and please like and subscribe, and thank you to everybody who's subscribed so far. Catch you soon.